Warriors, we both think, could win this series without KD. It'd be harder long-term without him, but short-term, they're different. And I think what I saw last night, Harden, it wasn't that he was bad. He shot 3 times and made 2. I think the Warriors without KD are a nightmare for Harden because little skinny Steph's running around the floor and coming off cuts, and Harden's always been like a stamina concern. It's chasing Steph around and Clay around. And I let Harden look gassed.
No, that makes some sense because there's going to be a lot more player movement, and your defense is going to have to work a lot harder without KD.
Way harder.
That's a great point. 2 things about Houston and why I feel confident Golden State will still win the series. One, I just like Golden State even without KD. They're 29-4 without KD the last 3 years. Okay, Steph and Clay's numbers both go up. But beyond that, Houston, Chris Paul.
What's happened?
I don't know if it's age or if it's the system fit, because he's basically a 2-guard, and he's not a great 2-guard. He's a point guard.
Is he even this? Eric Gordon's better this morning.
Eric Gordon is the second guy, no question.
No
and
question.
PJ Tucker's playing a more valuable role. The last 3 games, Chris is averaging 13.6 assists on 33% shooting.
Wow.
This is his moment after getting hurt last year. So I don't know if it's that or if it's just, remember, we've seen him struggle at big moments in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's see I got questions about what he's going to do. And then Harden, to your point, he wasn't badly. I'm talking about the last 7 minutes.
No, he wasn't bad.
And they were getting decent shots. Eric Gordon hit a couple big shots. Harden made a nice pass to Capella. But here's what shocked me, and this is why I'm concerned about the Rockets. Harden was not on the ball most of those last 7 minutes. There were times Eric Gordon brought the ball up twice with both Harden and CP3 on the floor. The ball was in CP3's hands at times. The way they've played the entire season, the entire playoffs, the entire first 44 minutes or whatever it was, 42 minutes, was Harden handling the ball, doing everything. And then the last 7 minutes, he's not handling it. What's going on?
Is that Harden going to Gordon saying, dude, I'm going to let you bring the ball up because I got to chase Steph? Like, I think Harden...
Is it that or is it him running away from the moment? I don't know, but it's something to watch for and something that makes me think of all those big moments where Harden hasn't delivered.
I've always been a Chris Paul fan. Last night, it was... You could have taken him off the floor. Generally with star basketball players, when Kyrie's on the floor, Giannis on the floor, Kawhi, you can just see the star. Like LeBron never disappears. I'm like, is Chris Paul on the floor?
He was just another player.
He was just, and by the way, shooting 33%. Okay, so we've addressed those 2 things. Let's move into this. I said, Kyrie doesn't fit the coach. He doesn't appear to fit the roster perfectly. He doesn't even feel like Boston. He's kind of I always felt Kevin Garnett was kind of a tough guy, was kind of a trash talker, had an edge to him. That's Boston. Boston's angry when it wakes up on a sunny day.
Right.
There's a chip. Edelman feels like Tom Brady's a grinder. Havlicek. There's guys that work. Paul Pierce felt Boston to me.
You think? See, I would say Pierce wasn't Boston.
But Pierce played defense. Pierce played defense. Pierce would get in your face. Pierce says, I want to guard Kobe. Boston's tough. Not always talented, but tough. Kurt Schilling felt like Boston. Angry, tough.
Is Brady tough?
He's a grinder. He's a grinder. And Boston likes work. I look at Kyrie and I'm like, you know what? Kyrie's great. Boston's awesome. It just wasn't destined to work. He doesn't feel like Boston. He doesn't feel like Brad Stevens. Well, it's okay.
Let me see. I just want to say this. And Kyrie deserves a lot of criticism, no question. But why is Brad Stevens getting a pass? Brad Stevens, who was crowned as the next Greg Popovich. In fact, as Greg Popovich.
Right.
He did not. He was right. He had a bad year. Look, every coach in the league knows the X's and O's. Especially, and you got little engine that could coaches in the NBA, some of them.
Yeah.
And that's what he is. Now, the question is, can he coach the Rolls Royces? Because if you want to win championships, you need a coach who can coach the Rolls Royces.
Well, it's funny about that. For a lot of fans that have never seen Greg Popovich in person, he's overpowering. He's huge. The head, the beard. He's like 6'6".
Yeah.
He's loud. He's intimidating. Popovich looks like a former NBA player. When you see him walk off the bus, I've been there in Portland, watched him walk off the bus, He just looks like an old NBA player. Stevens looks like an accountant. There's something to be said about that. Like, Brad's always like that meek, nice, went-to-Butler guy. There is a possibility that stars look at him and think, college coach.
Well,
B players like him, but A guys are like college coach.
Right. When you have guys that are just trying to show that they belong in the league or trying to, win that next contract, they're going to do whatever it takes. And that's what he had at Butler, and that's what he has had until Kyrie. Even Isaiah Thomas was a six-man chip on his shoulder. He was of that mold, too.
And
now you got your Mercedes-Benz in Kyrie, and you couldn't make it work. So you have to be able to manage egos, bring them together. I've been told that Brad doesn't like confrontation. And Kyrie that's one reason Kyrie was out kind of talking and bringing stuff into the media, because Brad wasn't going to really address it.
Yeah, D'Antoni doesn't like confrontation either.
No, he doesn't. And so Brad Stevens, I'm not saying fire him. He's a very good coach. But I'm just saying he should not get a pass on this. Now, regarding Kyrie, and I'm going to tie it back to LeBron. If I'm LeBron James, I want to stay in L.A., so I'm not asking for a trade. Go all in on getting Kyrie back with you.
Lakers?
That's what he should do.
No, we said this morning.
Go see Kyrie soon, whenever Kyrie's ready. When he winds down, and I know it would look humbling of Kyrie, like he's going back to his leader.
Oh.
If you're LeBron, you got to get the narrative out there. No, I need Kyrie just as much as he needs me.
My favorite band of all time is the Eagles. They fought the entire time. They were together, records. They separated. They had some success individually. Then they got back together, and they were great. They fought the entire time. Yep. This idea that every marriage is just hand in hand, I've been married in relationships. I've been in relationships. Arguing is okay. The Eagles argued. It's a great band. Not everybody's U2, and they're all buddy. Shaq and Kobe fought. Phil Jackson. The bottom line is LeBron and Kyrie worked. Now, they broke up like the Eagles. They did have some success, but they worked together. Right. One guy's a true A and controls the ball. The other guy is an overskilled 2 who doesn't want the media. LeBron's great with the media.
Right.
Like Kyrie doesn't want
Kyrie just wants the ball.
By the way,
he doesn't want the responsibility of running the team.
Scottie Pippen, I covered him. Scottie didn't like the media. Scottie didn't like the responsibility. He was a super talented 2. Michael saw the way he dressed. Michael loved the podium. Michael loved the moment. Michael liked the media. Right. Michael loved being a 1. Kobe loved being a 1. Kyrie's good enough, but he's a 2.
What's wrong with going down in history as Scottie Pippen? That's what Kyrie, and even more so because he hit the biggest shot, arguably the biggest shot, one of the biggest shots in NBA history. If I can't get Kyrie, and LeBron's got to find out relatively quickly, you got time, but from Kyrie, okay, will you come? Then I'm all in on Kemba Walker if I'm him. I don't think he's getting KD. I don't think he's getting Kawhi. Unless they know something we don't know, then don't even bother with them. You have to show Kyrie, you're my first choice. And then if you can't get him, show Kemba. I'm all in on you, because I got to ask, as much as I love Kyrie Irving, his game is phenomenal, best handle ever, clutch player. If he had not teamed up with LeBron, how much more would we think of him than Kemba Walker? We might think of him like Kemba Walker.
That's a good point.
He makes the All-Star team every year. Team loses, doesn't make the playoffs, or you go out in the first round.
UConn, Duke, both great college star. Yeah.
So Kemba might be. We've seen signs that Kemba would play well in the clutch.
This is a good point.
So, and then I'm Marcus Morris, Bogdanovich, some shooters. I'm hoping the Rambuses are listening.
Hour 2 next.
Frankie Lindor, he's one of those generational talents that will be